It began with 1,500 people. Now, it's considered one of the top 5K run and walks in the country.
3, 2, 1.
On 9/11, firefighter Stephen Siller strapped on 60 pounds of gear, running through the Brooklyn Battery Tunnel to the Twin Towers.
You learn to deal with it a lot better when you're around people that have dealt with the same thing.
Today we run and walk and remember.
We honor those that we've lost in the line of duty throughout the country, not just here in the city.
A sense of duty for so many families, retracing his heroic journey.
I would come out in hail and snow, and I'm here to support all of the fallen firefighters.
With stories of hope and inspiration.
It shows us the love of America coming together to help us out when we're down.
This is the 2023 Tunnel to Towers 5K Run and Walk. Welcome, I'm Rosanna Scotto.
And I'm Bianca Peters.
All right, 22 years later, and the event is bigger and better than ever. We're here at the finish line where thousands of supporters and participants in this great cause will be passing through.
That's right, the event honors the legacy of those who gave their lives trying to save others. On September 11th, 2001, Stephen Siller had just finished his shift with his Brooklyn squad when he got word over his scanner of a plane hitting the North Tower of the World Trade Center. With no hesitation, Stephen drove his truck to the entrance of the Brooklyn Battery Tunnel, but it had already been closed. Determined and dedicated to carry out his duty, he strapped 60 pounds of gear to his back and raced on foot through the tunnel towards the chaos in Lower Manhattan. He gave up his life while saving others there. Today's route retraces his steps. The 5K run and walk starts off in Red Hook, Brooklyn. Runners start on Hamilton Avenue. They make their way through the Hugh L. Carey Tunnel, formerly known as the Brooklyn Battery Tunnel. When they exit the tunnel, they take a right onto West Street and then a left on Liberty Street to the Battery Park Esplanade. Then there's another right onto the North Esplanade, another right on Warren Street, leading right onto West Street. The finish line is on West Street at Murray Street.
We have reporters all along the route ready to bring you the stories that inspire this event. Steve Lacey and Natasha Verma are at the starting line where Natasha's actually getting ready to run. We'll catch up with them in a moment.
But first, Shawnee Whitlow and Dan Bowens there with some of the thousands of participants getting ready to start the 5K run and walk in Red Hook, Brooklyn.
Rosanna and Bianca, we're here at the IKEA lot where thousands of people are gathered. You can feel the energy as so many are excited to start the run and walk.
And today's race has so much meaning and purpose for so many of these families.
I think that's the beauty of the Tunnel to Towers Foundation, is that we're bringing all these families together, and together we're doing unbelievable things, and we're learning how to live with this pain.
Transforming pain into purpose. Frank Siller established the Tunnel to Towers Foundation right after losing his little brother Stephen, honoring what Stephen and others did on that tragic day.
So the first year, the Tunnel to Towers run, about 1,500 people came and did it, and now there's going to be, I don't know, 40,000 people there this year.
Expanding their mission from paying off mortgages for Gold Star families and families of fallen first responders with young children, building smart homes for severely injured service members, and finding forever homes for the 38,000 homeless veterans.
If you're an older vet, you'll live in comfort and dignity for the remaining days of your life, and you won't have the pressures or the worries about where your next meal is coming from, whether you can have a roof over your head, whether you can get to a doctor's appointment. Those days are over.
Tom Oker served in both the NYPD and the FDNY, and he responded to Ground Zero after the September 11th attacks. Several years later, he was diagnosed with 9/11 related cancer and passed away.
2 years ago, the Tunnel to Towers Foundation announced that it was paying off the mortgage of his family's home. Tom's wife, Erica, is joining us right now. I want to send my condolences to you and your girls. The number of FDNY members who died from 9/11 illnesses is now the same number as those who perished on 9/11 in the terror attacks. Can you talk about how that day continues to haunt us?
It's heartbreaking to me. When my husband passed away, it was 20 years after 9/11, and we thought we had dodged a bullet when he survived that day, but really it was just a ticking time bomb. And when he passed in May of 21, he was number 250. So in 2 years, that number has accelerated almost 100 people. And now there's 11,000 members of the fire department with 9/11 related illnesses, and 3,500 of them have cancer. So that number is only going to increase, unfortunately, as time goes on.
And so much of the race today is about pushing things forward and moving things forward. Obviously, the Tunnel to Towers Foundation has been wonderful for you and your family. Can you talk to us about that, about the importance of remembering, but also the importance of having the awareness and moving forward?
Absolutely. I think what Frank has done with Tunnel to Towers, not only for my family, but for 200 fire department families a year, is phenomenal. I mean, look here, you have 40,000 people coming out in the rain and showing you, let's do good one day at a time. Let's put our foot in front of the other and help people. And the impact he's had for me and my family is tremendous, and I'm forever grateful.
All right, let's check in now with Natasha Verma and Steve Lacey. They are there near the starting line.
Current and former service members are among the thousands taking part in this year's Tunnel to Towers 5K run and walk. That includes many cadets from the U.S. Military Academy at West Point.
All right, joining us now, two very special guests. We have the Commandant of West Point, Corps Cadets, Brigadier General L'Oreal Robinson, along with First Captain Cadet Martijn van der Wal.
9/11 means so much to each one of us. For you, how important is this day and how impactful is it?
It's very impactful. I think with each year, we grow a bit further in time from 9/11, but the impact that it's had on our profession in the military, it's profound. And it's just an opportunity to see the heroes of New York that were here on that tragic day. But for us, the connection spans more than 20 years, and we're just excited to be here and be among those people.
Right, and Commandant, it is interesting as we do go through the passage of time, you now have cadets who weren't even born on 9/11. How do you make sure that the lessons of that day live on, and how important is it for you to share that with the next generation?
Yeah, I mean, it's tremendously important. Our world changed that day, and, as we took the torch from all of the first responders here in New York to the military, it is always that connection, and it is why we, share how important it is for our military to be and stay ready, because we just don't know, what our nation's going to ask us or need us to do.
Coming up, more stories of courage and kindness.
Everyone has a story here. All of us are stars, and it's great. It's great to be around.
Plus,
down the road, if I am wheelchair bound, and that it's an absolute comfort knowing that is one less thing I would have to worry about.
And later,
seeing the first responders, the firefighters, their families, the people that have lost lives, it was a pretty touching moment.
the Tunnel to Towers Foundation is expanding across the country with run and walks being held annually, including Buffalo, New York, which held their run walk on September 16th. Go to t2t.org to learn more on how you can participate in a run and walk at a city near you.
Welcome back to the Tunnel and Towers 5K Run and Walk. The event honors the sacrifices of our nation's military heroes and first responders and supports the Tunnel to Towers Foundation.
So this wonderful organization does so much to help injured veterans, Gold Star families, and family members of fallen first responders with small children. Steve Lacey and Natasha Verma are near the starting line. Hi, guys.
Hi, and before the official start of the run and walk, there will be a ceremonial start for thousands of program recipients whose lives have been changed by the Tunnel to Towers Foundation.
That's right. You know, since the foundation began, they've been able to raise more than $500 million for our nation's military, heroes, and first responders.
Last year, FDNY firefighter Billy Moon was fatally injured in a training accident. Moon was an organ donor, which means he helped save the lives of 5 people people, including Lieutenant Terrence Jordan, who needed new lungs due to a 9/11 related illness.
All right, Billy Moon's wife, Christina, joins us now alongside Terrence Jordan. Thank you so much both for being with us. Your husband's story is absolutely amazing. He joined the FDNY in May of 2002, presumably inspired by the events of 9/11. And then unfortunately last year he was killed in a training accident. He was an organ donor and his lungs wound up
right here. In this gentleman.
Amazing.
Yeah. It's incredible.
It's been a whirlwind, and he always wanted to be a fireman, so I'm really happy that that happened for him. And I always knew we had what I keep calling hard conversations. I knew he was an organ donor, and if was ever put in that position, that's what he wanted to do. And then we're put in the position where Terry would be able to get his lungs, and it worked out. They were a perfect match, and he's here today like a new person. It's amazing what it can do for someone.
And Terry, what does this mean to you?
Well, last time I did this is in 2014. I had to use a walker and an oxygen machine on top of the walker with about a half a dozen spare batteries.
Wow.
And I don't have any.
I mean, you look great.
Anymore.
It's incredible.
I lost 30 pounds, so I'm doing great.
Christina, it's just almost too much to comprehend, truly.
It is, and I'm so honored to walk with Terry and his family today, because it's just a sign of, one, the legacy my husband's left behind and how important it is to check a little box and what it can do for other people. I'm so excited to be here, even in this weather.
Yeah. And so you've even dedicated your life now to raising awareness about organ donations. How important is it?
It's really important. In New York State, we have one of the lowest rates of registered organ donors, and even though 82% of our population will say yes in that position, I feel like you shouldn't have to put your family in that position to decide. You can decide for them, and it really is a place that people think is important, but they're not talking about it enough.
Yeah, there's such a service you're doing. We appreciate it. Thank you so much for being here.
Thank you.
And have a great walk today under your own power. Amazing.
Thank you very
Truly
much.
amazing.
And I want to add one thing in. Please check the box on your license.
Yep.
Well, in 2017, NYPD detective Dalsh Veve sustained catastrophic brain injuries when he was dragged by a car for several blocks by a suspect that he was trying to question. He was hospitalized for nearly a year and still requires around-the-clock care.
Well, 3 years later, Tunnel to Towers Foundation announced that it would pay off his mortgage of his home on Long Island. Detective Veve's wife, Esther, is with us today. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you for having me.
Take us back to that moment when you found the news that they would pay off your mortgage. What was that like?
Well, Tunnel to Tower has specific guidelines, and we were part of that. But with every catastrophic stuff that happened, Frank always finds ways to expand the program. And so with the catastrophically hurt, we became part of that team, and so that's how they were able to make this happen.
I'm sure you must take strength from all the people you meet through this foundation as well.
Absolutely. This is the one time that you truly feel fit in with everyone that's around. It's no judgment. Everyone has a story here. All of us are stars, and it's great.
And the program recipient start is just about to get underway.
And now in its third decade, it started small, but it continues to grow every year, as does the mission of the Stephen Siller Foundation Tunnel to Towers Run Walk. Truly a remarkable sight to behold here in the city. 3, 2, 1.
There they go.
Truly great events of the calendar year here in New York City. They're coming around the corner as they get ready to head into the UL Carey Tunnel.
And I have to say, even in the elements, the stories of resilience and the strength has not remotely diminished. I mean, this is a day that's about inspiration, hope, the future, moving forward, and that's what the Tunnel to Towers Foundation is about.
Here we are, and here it comes right behind us again. Well said, Natasha. Just, boy, you can't look at this, not be inspired, not be proud to be an American, not wonder what can I do to help give back to those who give so much to us. This is certainly an event that kicks off, I think, so many charitable options for so many people. It's just, you cannot be here and not be inspired by what you see behind us. All right, we're going to be right back after a quick break.
Still ahead.
I think it's important to remember the lives that we lost and remember the actions of all the men and women that day. I mean, my father's story is one of hundreds.
We're back at the Tunnel to Towers 5K run and walk.
Program recipients in today's event are already making their way right through the Hugh L. Carey Tunnel, and thousands of participants are actually going to begin the main event. Natasha and Steve are at the starting line with a very special guest. Hey, guys.
Stephen Siller was less than 2 years old when his father, firefighter Stephen Gerard Siller, died in the 9/11 attacks.
All right, and Stephen joins us now. Stephen, thanks so much for being with us here.
Thank you guys for having me, and I actually wanted to say thank you to the Fox Network as a whole and to your amazing viewers for their incredible commitment to our mission.
And I mean, I can't even imagine what it must be like for you to be here and see such an amazing tribute to the life of your father.
I'm grateful for it every day. I mean, here we are 22 years later. We started with 1,000 people. It was just our family and friends, and now there's 40,000 people out here in the rain running. I couldn't be more happy about it.
Absolutely incredible. And what do you think your father would say today if he saw the life-changing work that the foundation does?
I think he would be proud of it. A little bit annoyed it's in his name. He was a private guy, but I think he would be very proud, and I'm proud of it. I'm grateful for it.
No, it's amazing. And obviously this event sprung out of a horrible, tragic day, but what it has been able to accomplish in the 2 decades plus since, and how it's grown to help so many people, firefighters, first responders, veterans. Can you walk us through just how many people you've spoken to about how the organizations have helped them?
I'll actually start this with the story. So when I first started working with the foundation, I spoke to a widow of a fallen first responder who he had just died like a month before, and she's told me her children, one of the first things they asked her was if they were going to be homeless. And we got to remove that burden from those children. They didn't have to have that fear, which you all played a part in. I got to play a small role in, and I couldn't be more excited about that. And I'm really lucky to be in a position where I get to help people.
22 years later, a lot of kids are being born who didn't live through 9/11. What's the message that you want to send to the younger generations about 9/11?
I think it's important to remember the lives that we lost and remember the actions of all the men and women that day. I mean, my father's story is one of hundreds. There was so many beautiful, beautiful actions that day, and I think it's important not to forget them and not to forget the attack on our country.
Well, it's an amazing tribute to your father, certainly well-deserved, and it's just outstanding to see how this event continues to grow year after year. Stephen, thanks so much for joining us.
Thank you, guys.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Here we go, and we're off. The Tunnel to Towers 5K run and walk. So exciting.
Very exciting and emotional day to be here. Whichever way you come through that finish line, running or walking, doesn't matter. You're here for a great cause. Let's get to it. Coming up.
It's just a pleasure to be part of T2T because they also changed my life so much, my daughter and I life tremendously. So it's just real grateful to be here. It's like a blessing.
I ran for all the strong men and women. My cousin here, Stefan Sansone, he invited me out.
I've never ran more than 1.5 miles. And so to run 3+ miles for the cause that we were here for was the easiest 3 miles I've ran.
Welcome back to the Tunnel to Towers 5K run and walk. Now, one of the first things that participants see when they come out of the tunnel are banners with the names and faces of fallen first responders and service members.
Ashley Rodriguez is along the route with a Gold Star widow who recently learned that Tunnel to Towers would provide her family with a mortgage-free home. Ashley.
I'm joined by Amber Sachs, who brought her 2 little ones and even her mom to run this race because you lost your husband last year. Tell us a little bit about why you came out here all the way from Northern California.
Yeah, of course. This is my husband, Captain John J. Sachs. He was a Marine Corps Osprey pilot. He went down in 2022 alongside 4 other incredibly brave Marines, Nicholas Lasapio, Seth Rasmussen, Nathan Carlson, and Evan Strickland. We say their names to remember them. John was a civilian pilot. He chose to be a Marine Corps pilot. He went up on a flight in a Yak 52 when he was 8 years old and decided, I want to be a military pilot. So when I met him, he already had his commercial pilot's license. He went on to become a CFI, and John went into the Marines, commissioned through OCS, and he became a world-famous Purple Fox, flying the MV-22B Osprey, and he loved what he did. He loved to serve. That was his calling. That's what it called his heart.
And your story is so touching because not only did you have a little one, but you were pregnant when you got that terrible news. How have you been coping, and how has Tunnel to Towers helped?
Yeah, so we have the Marine Corps family, the aviation community, the Osprey community is so tight-knit. The Purple Foxes are a family too. I was pregnant with my youngest. I gave birth to her 3 months after. John's friends volunteered to be there and knock on the door and make sure I was okay. They took care of mowing lawns, walking dogs, buying diapers, anything we needed. Tunnel to Towers, after I gave birth to my daughter, they moved me up a month later to be close to my family so that I can have extra support and extra hands, because handling 2 kids is really hard, especially by yourself. And so I'm just so grateful.
Did you know more than 100 members of our Fox family are actually taking part today in this 5K run and walk as part of the Team Fox?
And we are so proud of them. Our own Natasha Verma is actually running in the event. Let's check in on her. Natasha, how you doing?
All right, we've been running in the tunnel for about a mile now, and it's very emotional, and it just kind of forces you to think, how could Steven Stiller have run this with full gear on, and firefighter gear, 60 pounds? You really gain an appreciation for a hero's journey.
And not knowing what he was headed for.
Right, not knowing what he's headed for, the chaos of lower Manhattan, and he put his life on line to save so many people.
Coming up, homes for injured heroes.
It gives me the sense that everything that we sacrificed for, it was not for nothing.
Plus, our interview with Frank Siller. Your nephew, your brother's son, actually spoke out today, which is like the first time he's talked to us.
It's about what his father did 22 years ago.
We're all here to really make him proud. He was a staple in the family, the love of my life, my best friend, and I would come out in hail and snow to support him in any way I can possibly can. And I'm here to support all of the fallen firefighters, all the families, all those that have lost someone. And he's walking with us.
One of the fundraising teams taking part in the 5K run and walk is a group from the Newark, New Jersey Fire Department.
And this year's event carries special significance. This is because after 2 Newark firefighters gave their lives in line of duty while fighting a fire on a cargo ship. A member of the Newark Fire Department team joins us now, Deputy Chief Al Carlucci. Thanks so much for being here with us. You are in full gear, and that's one thing that hits me every time I see everyone cross the finish line. Firefighters with full gear, and you're doing this in remembrance of 2 of your own.
Yes, we are. Well, this is really a remembrance of 9/11 and all the people that gave their lives that day. We can't forget what happened that day. We should carry on this tradition. I want to thank Frank Siller and the rest of the foundation for running this thing. It's grown every year. It's been amazing.
You know, what I remember that day and the days following was how we came together as a community, as a city, as a nation. You feel that again today, don't you?
I do. The minute you run through that tunnel and everybody's standing there and they're cheering for you and holding up signs of the people that they lost and the members that have passed away throughout the years from the illnesses that are carried on afterwards, it brings goosebumps to me every time. This is my 8th time in 12 years that I've been running it, and I hope this carries the tradition for a long, long time.
We hope so too, because it's something that's deeply impactful to the city and for the nation as we continue to remember across the country. What is the fire department in Newark doing for the families of the 2 men that were lost, 2 of your brothers?
Well, right now we're mourning. That's the big thing, and we're probably going to mourn forever. 2 very, very special people, and it's a great loss for the department. Today we honor them, we honor their families, we honor those that we've lost in the line of duty throughout the country, not just here in the city, not just in the city of Newark.
Thank you so much for what you do every day, and we appreciate all your hard work and effort, and we remember those who've passed.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
The Tunnel to Towers Foundation's Smart Home program provides specially designed homes to meet the unique needs of catastrophically injured service members and first responders.
And Richard Giacovis has more on this.
Marine Sergeant Benjamin Webb sustained severe injuries during combat, doing 4 tours overseas. He then had to tear down his dream home after it was damaged by Superstorm Sandy. But the Tunnel to Towers Foundation gifted him a brand new smart home, and he just moved in June.
At some point down the road, if I am wheelchair bound, and that it's an absolute comfort knowing that is one less thing I would have to worry about.
He spent 15 years in the United States Marine Corps on 4 tours, including 3 in Afghanistan and 1 in Iraq. On the front lines, fighting for our freedom, Staff Sergeant Benjamin Webb never quit and always put his country first.
It gives me the sense that everything that we sacrificed for, it was not for nothing.
6 years after retiring from the Marines with 3 Purple Hearts, Sergeant Webb is finally home, in an actual home.
This is my key. This is my castle.
A castle with vaulted ceilings, home speakers, automatic features from the stove to the dishwasher.
Being harder to open things, pull on them.
Even a touchscreen control that allows Sergeant Webb to operate the lights and the soft music he enjoys listening to every day.
It gives me that much more mellow feeling.
Sergeant Webb sustained catastrophic injuries during combat, which left him with multiple shrapnel wounds in his right leg. Webb also experienced several traumatic brain injuries caused by vehicle rollovers and explosions. Those injuries, coupled with severe PTSD, was why this veteran was gifted a custom smart home by the Tunnel to Towers Foundation. This after his first home was plagued with structural damage from Superstorm Sandy. Webb had no choice but to tear it down.
To see it demolished and to see it just taken down, but to actually walk in that day and to see an entire new home and to see how beautiful this is.
The Tunnel to Towers Foundation has gifted more than 1,000 mortgage-free homes nationwide. There have been 125 homes completed so far in 2023. The goal is to deliver at least another 75 by year's end. U.S. Marine Corporal Patrick Myers had to have both his legs amputated after being hit with an IED while on deployment in Iraq in 2005. Myers had his smart home dedication this past May in Texas. We're now here with U.S. Marine Corporal Patrick Myers and his wife, Mindy. You guys just completed the Tunnel to Towers Run Walk. Was this your first year?
No, this is our third year here.
How does it feel today to be part of this?
Amazing. It's same every year. It gets better and better every year. It's humbling. It's beautiful.
You also moved into your smart home this year. Tell me what that's been like in Texas.
Life-changing. It's life-changing. It's given me more independence, more freedom, more mobility. I'm more active. We got deer feeders set up. So I got, set out back and just watch the animals, and it's relaxing.
It's your dream home. Mindy, how does that feel to watch your husband, after all he sacrificed for us, now get the home that he deserves?
It was amazing. The best part for me was when we were moving in, and he said, "You know what? I haven't had to think about not hitting the walls." That was really great, because that was a big issue in the old house, just putting holes in the walls and stuff. And just, it's beautiful, and just to see his mind be free, that's been really, really, really great.
All right, way to go, way to go.
You're home forever now, right? Sweet home forever?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
All thanks to Tunnel to Towers?
Yes, yeah, and to Stephen. I mean, if it wasn't for the sacrifice of Stephen Stiller, none of this would be possible. So I'm very, very, very thankful, very fortunate. I'm very blessed.
We will be back with much more from the Tunnel to Towers 5K Run and Walk.
Stay with us.
You can be part of one of many Tunnel to Towers Foundation events. Every year, the organization hosts the Tower Climb here in New York City and has teams running in the New York City Marathon, the United Airlines New York City Half Marathon, and the Marine Corps Marathon in Arlington, Virginia. Go to t2t.org to learn more on how you can take part in one of these races.
Welcome back to the Tunnels to Towers 5K run and walk.
New York City Fire Commissioner Laura Kavanaugh is taking part in the event once again, which honors our nation's heroes, including the 343 FDNY firefighters who were lost on 9/11 and the hundreds who have died of 9/11 illnesses since then. Commissioner, what was it like for you doing this walk run and just remembering all the people in your department?
Yeah, you know, today has always been such an important, special day. I always get emotional when I come out of that tunnel and you have the 343 signs of everybody we lost on 9/11. But also, as of yesterday, we've reached 343 members that we've lost since. And so it feels like a particularly somber but notable day to be here at the Siller Run because it's so important, you know, not only to remember all those we've lost, but to remember that this loss keeps coming for the fire department.
And although the event is somber, we can, I guess, take joy in the fact that they're doing so much good for firefighters, for people that lost their lives, for people that served our country. Talk about that part and how that touches you.
I think that's one of the most special things is that full circle feeling in the fire department. I think that's why we're so resilient and why the larger first responder community is part of this, because, you know, part of moving on and remembering someone is laughing, you know, laughing at the stories, you know, having joy in their kids and their grandkids. You know, it isn't just about mourning, it's also about remembering the full person they were. And you see that, like you said, this is such a somber day, and yet you see happy, smiling faces, families. They're running in the name of people they lost, and they're feeling, you know, good about having that memory here. So it's important, very much so.
4 years ago, U.S. Army Major Jonathan Turnbull was critically injured by an ISIS suicide bomber in Syria.
Now, he underwent more than 20 surgeries and countless hours of rehabilitation, but now his family is moving forward with the help of a smart home from the Tunnel to Towers Foundation. He joins us here this morning after you ran this race and you walked through it. You're getting such an incredible gift for your family. What does that mean to you?
It means everything. It shows us the love of America coming together to help us out when we're down in the dirt or in the valley, so to speak, looking for a way out. How are we going to survive? What are we going to do? How am I going to get around a house, bumping into everything? I wear my baseball cap to protect my nose from hitting a wall. Don't want to have to do that anymore. And when somebody reaches out and says, hey, we know you're down, we know you're hurting, let us take care of this. We've got you. Here's some love. And that's Tunnels to Towers, and that's what it means. I mean, I'm truly humbled and honored that they would go out of their way to help me out in such a way and help my family.
How are you feeling?
I feel good now that it's done. Yeah, I'd use the word run loosely, but no, it felt great. The streets were lined. People were cheering, and they weren't just out there because they had to be. They were out there because they wanted to be. I mean, there was excitement. There was motivation. They were happy to be there, happy to be cheering us on, and how fantastic.
Oh, you already know the visionary behind Tunnels to Towers Foundation is Frank Siller.
He founded the organization and is the man behind this very special event. He has brought with him the former fire commissioner, Sal Cassano, is also now an executive board member.
Has been for the beginning of our foundation.
Fantastic. Okay, so let's start with you, Frank. Your nephew, your brother's son, actually spoke out today, which is like the first time he's talked to us during this event, because I'm sure it's got to be emotional for the family, right?
Yeah, of course it is. It's, you know, it's about what his father did 22 years ago, and he was only 9 months at the time, but he's really involved with the foundation. You know, he's helping other families that have gone through the same thing, and he knows that it's going to be a rough road. It's not easy. It's not easy, but he came out the other side, just like my brother did when he was a little boy. He lost his parents. My parents died when my brother was 10 years old, and we raised him. He was an orphan, and he grew up to be this outrageous human being, and so is his youngest son, Stephen. Him and one of his daughters read the names today of every hero that's with us here today.
Wow.
I know.
Former Commissioner, I got to ask you, because the motto from Tunnels to Towers is let us do good. You're doing a whole lot of good today, but being involved in this organization, everyone's doing a whole lot of good today for participating. What does that mean to you?
Well, it means a lot because, you know, we vowed to take care of our families if they suffer losses. And the Tunnels to Towers Foundation has helped us to keep that promise to those families, as you see, who started the race, our recipients. And to me, for somebody that vowed that we were going to take care of our families, they've helped us to do it for the last 20 years.
Frank, you have done so much in your brother's name. You have changed the lives of so many people. And today, obviously, will give you a little bit more to be a game changer in somebody's world.
Well, look, you know, today was the 343rd. We lost the 343rd with the 9/11 illness firefighter, which is so significant. That's how many died on 9/11. So it doesn't stop. It really doesn't stop. And our vow is to take care of them for always. But I got to tell the truth. Yeah, okay, I'm the chairman. But, you know, I have people like Commissioner Cassano, so many great people that have joined us on this mission. We have so many people that do $11 a month. We can't do it without them. We got, you know, Home Depot, General Motors. You know, we have so many unbelievable people and companies that have joined us, and that's how we get it done, bringing not thousands, not tens of thousands, hundreds of thousands, and over millions of people that donate to us every year because we made a promise to take care of everyone, not just this year, every year.
And I know it's so important to make sure you're taking care of them. 22 years ago, we remember something horrible that happened, but we're also remembering that's also a job in itself to teach people that were never born during 9/11 or didn't get to witness it. What are you guys doing with your foundation to make sure that alive is?
Well, you know, Commissioner Cassano got a group of his firefighter buddies that lived that day, and we put it on camera, and we have a 9/11 Institute. You go to t2t.org, you can download it. For kids K through 12, the curriculum is unbelievable, age appropriate, and you can never forget what happened on that day.
Frank, out of the memory of your brother and what he did for us during that day, we're seeing people from not just our country, but other countries come in their gear and do this walk and run. I mean, that's just it's unbelievable to see that.
Well, you know, hopefully they take it back to the country because there's nothing like America. And they tell me, you know, there's 30 different countries, I think, here running today, represented fire departments from all over the world. But they say that their countries don't have this patriotism that we have here. And they don't take care of the catastrophically injured service members like we do. We're building smart homes, you know, to give them back some of their independence, mortgage-free smart homes. And I'll tell you, there's nothing like America. God bless America and these great heroes that sacrifice everything for us.
Thank you so much, Frank Siller, Sal Cassano. Continued good work. Thank you for taking care of the people in our community.
God bless you all.
Next, the famous faces showing their support.
You know, it was pretty wild going through the tunnel today and, you know, seeing the first responders, the firefighters, their families, the people that have lost lives. It was a pretty touching moment.
When we can bring what we do, which is the gift of music, to places like this to celebrate and also remember, it's just always a very, very powerful experience.
Welcome back. Actor Cole Hauser, perhaps best known for his role in the hit TV series Yellowstone.
He's also a huge supporter of the Tunnels to Towers Foundation. He's proud to be taking part in today's event. Nice to see you. Where's the horse?
I could use it at this point.
I
made it, though.
How'd you do in the walk-run?
Well, listen, I beat the cadets. That's all I can tell you. So, all right, I was actually a little surprised.
So you were running, not walking.
I was, run walk. But Brandon Adams, my buddy, he got after me, made sure that I was continuing to run.
I know you're very involved with this organization. I'm sure that you get asked to be involved in a lot of organizations. Why this one?
I think it kind of circles everything. You know, it has first responders, obviously, homeless veterans, and Frank Siller. You know, he's a wonderful human being, and I've got to know him over the last year, and we've done some wonderful things. And this is just an accumulation of it, and this is the end of it. You know, the run, and then on December 1st. There's a gala, and I'm excited about coming back here to New York, but it's been awesome.
So it's been 22 years since 9/11. How important is it to you to not only honor those people you just said in an event like today, but also throughout the year?
You know, it was pretty wild going through the tunnel today and, you know, seeing the first responders, the firefighters, their families, the people that have lost lives. It was a pretty touching moment to be a part of this. So we'll never forget. I know you guys won't. I know New York won't. And I know our country won't.
Uplifting day. Everybody, you know, they're here for a reason. They're here for a family member. No rain could stop the commitment today.
Yeah. The rain was actually, for me, it was nice. It was nice and cool.
Anyway, so nice to meet you in person. Thank you so much for what you do for Tunnel for Towers.
Next year, come back with a horse. That's who it's going to be asking.
That I can do.
Okay.
Great to meet you guys.
Cole Hauser, everybody.
It has been an emotional experience for everyone involved with today's event.
Ryan Christopher has more on that and the special performance that wraps up the day.
To
be able to follow Stephen's footsteps, the mission that he had to try to save folks. The least we can do is walk out here in the rain today.
Retracing the steps of Stephen Siller as he bravely strapped on 60 pounds of gear, running through the tunnel to save lives on 9/11 and making the ultimate sacrifice.
Well, I always remember my uncle, Steve Siller, but what this means also is we're also honoring all 343 that died, NYPD, PAPD, and also the members that we lost post 9/11. We have each individual's name to remember them that died of illness after 9/11.
Stephen Siller's daughter, Genevieve, proudly running in Dad's turnout gear through the Hugh L. Carey Tunnel.
Honestly, I'm just so grateful that everyone can come together. I mean, we've been seeing people divide more and more, and here it just proves that we're still one nation, one country, and I'm so grateful everyone can come out and be together and celebrate today.
The nearly 7,000 fallen service members killed in the line of duty since 9/11 in the War on Terror, they were honored on banners held by over 1,750 cadets and junior ROTC from the New York metro area. Gold Star widow Mecca Nelson runs in honor of her husband, Sergeant Mario Nelson.
I'm so happy to be able to keep the legacy of his name to continue going. So it's just know that he knows that he married the right woman, you know, so it's just a pleasure to be part of T2T because they also changed my life so much, my daughter and I life tremendously. So it's just real grateful to be here. It's like a blessing at the same time, and he's still being a blessing to others.
And runners coming from around the world to support the cause. As runners made their way to the finish line, it was time for a festival on Vesey Street where participants got to refuel and also witness the 343 banners process from the tunnel exit down to the main stage. Former Knicks player Enes Kanter Freedom took in the moment after the 5K.
I mean, I'm an athlete. I took thousands of steps throughout my whole life, but today, the steps that I took was definitely one of the most meaningful and amazing steps that I took. You know, seeing all those people coming together and uniting and cheering USA really touched my heart.
Joe Piscopo hosted the ceremony on stage, leading and singing New York, New York.
I want to be a part of it, New York, New York.
All before 7-time Grammy-winning country supergroup Lady A took the stage.
And the rock is red.
So Charles, I know you guys have been together 17 years now. This is such a special day. You've all toured around all over the world, playing for so many fans. What does this day mean to you, especially here in New York City?
I mean, this is what it's all about for us. We keep talking about, you know, longevity and leaving a mark and being a part of things that we believe in and that, you know, kind of spread joy and spread love. And this one, I mean, there's nothing stronger, you know, than kind of being a part of an event like this. I've got my little 7-year-old son yesterday he's coming in, he's going to watch, and he was asking a lot of questions, and just never to forget.
Music has such a healing property to it. I mean, it's one of the things that I go to when I want to celebrate and when I want to cry. You know, it's just such a powerful thing. And when we can bring what we do, which is the gift of music, to places like this to celebrate and also remember, it's just always a very, very powerful experience.
It's been an exciting and inspiring day at the Tunnels to Towers 5K Run and Walk.
Absolutely. Tens and thousands of participants have reached the finish line, including our very own Natasha Verma.
Yes.
This was your first 5K.
This was my first 5K race, run, walk ever, and it was just inspirational, and what a way to start it off.
What was it like going through the Hugh Carey Tunnel?
It was, I mean, when you first enter, it's quiet, you just hear everyone running, then you start to hear the music, and it just kind of dawned on me of what Stephen Siller had gone through, wearing 60 pounds, what might have went through his mind racing through the tunnel, what was he thinking of on the other end of that tunnel and when it would end, you know? It was very inspiring to get through, and there were so many people, and it was just, you just got everyone's energy running through.
Yeah. And speaking about that energy, moving into the future as we remember 9/11, all the people that served our country, servicemen, people at NYPD, FDNY, you're with all of them in that tunnel. What does that do in terms of moving forward?
It's incredible. I mean, you see everyone with gear, the firefighters with gear running through, and then when you get out of the tunnel and you see the 343 firefighters, their faces on the banners, that's when it hits you. it is about hope. It's about the future. Tunnel to Towers, everything that they're doing with the foundation is incredible. Over 1,000 homes mortgage-free for recipients, $500 million given to support families. I mean, really turning a tragedy into something positive.
What an uplifting day. Not even the rain could dampen the spirits today. Everybody came together. A beautiful community organized by Tunnel to Towers.
Incredible foundation, incredible energy. This is just an experience that we want to be back. We want to be a part of every single year.
So honored to be a part of it. Thank you so much for watching. I'm Rosanna Scotto.
And I'm Bianca Peters.